Welcome to another episode of Other Side News. I'm Wesley.
I'm Will.
And we want to talk about WWE Fastlane last night. 22 seconds, but we'll get to that in a moment. Pay-per-view started pretty good with Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn. It was a strong opening. Both guys looked good, especially the match they had in NXT that, you know, went the limit. So I was glad it wasn't a squash, but Samoa looked strong, looked like the character we're trying to build him as. So that was good. Off to a good start.
Even though my man Sammy got beat, don't care.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe's the shit.
Yeah, and then we had Sasha Banks and Nia Jax.
Didn't really care.
They've been trading wins back and forth. Did to say worst roll-up ever. I don't know what... I know Nia's a bigger person, but come on, you could have put a tighter roll-up in on that.
Yeah, it was kind of unbelievable. It just reminded me
Well, she kicked her ass for a good portion of the match.
Yeah, it reminded me of Chyna back in the day when she was forced to go up against people like Toru or some bullshit like that. It wasn't believable.
Yeah, so then we had the tag team titles on the line. I didn't care too much about the match, but it was good that, you know, your champions got a win since they've been kind of treated like a joke.
This was a good, it was a wrestling match.
Yeah, and I'm missing a good tag team division. I did like the psychological element of it, you know, with Enze really getting his ass beat for a majority of the match. Yeah. So you had the hot tag to the big guy. You know, it's rare that you get to see that dynamic in tag team matches. And then we had a segment of Raw thrown in for no reason. 2 exhibition matches made on the fly, which I understand why they did it. Because if they had advertised 2 extra matches on this pay-per-view, people with basic math skills would say, okay, there's only an average length each match can go, and it would have been a dead giveaway of what was going to happen at the end. But no, they saved it, but as soon as they announced 2 extra matches, already you knew what was going to happen in the main event. Glad Cesaro won, yay, and Rusev, it must be that he tweeted that they were engaged during that silly storyline with Dolph Ziggler, because I don't know what he did to piss people off. And also, he looked pretty strong to start against the Big Show.
Yeah.
Till Big Show murdered him, and so I don't get his up and down booking and didn't care about either match.
New star gets buried. Building Big Show up doesn't matter anymore because I don't even know who the hell he's supposed to be facing in WrestleMania.
Yeah, building
anymore,
the Big Show is a waste of time.
Shaq doesn't give a shit.
Always does the same thing. Then we had the Cruiserweight title match, Neville and Gallagher. It was probably the best match of the night.
Gallagher getting his ass beat.
But it was, everything they did was in character, and they did some good spots, and it was, they told a good story. It was,
I like that match
It was
too.
a very good match.
He takes an ass beating, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
That headbutt was fucking intense in the corner.
Oh, and that's, the snap German suplex. And then we go to Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. Now, in the lead up to this match, I mean, Braun had been booked really strong, and they did some good spots. The power slam through the table was, good. The Braun kicks out of the spear, which not a lot of people do, so, all right, that was cool. But then it's a clean finish for Roman Reigns. There's no indication of The Undertaker at all, which I kind of figured that maybe he would appear at some point to give, if that's what they're going to do, to give that any steam at all other than the Royal Rumble. But I don't know if I would have taken Braun down at this point. I mean, because it was a better match than I was expecting, but it should have been a screwy finish, or Braun should have just won. But I'll get to Roman Reigns in a minute.
Well, see, Roman Reigns right now, he really reminds me of Hulk Hogan back in the day when you had people like, that were unstoppable, like King Kong Bundy, but then they'd hit Hogan, boom, you're done. And once you hit that level and you get thrown down, like Kane, he was beating the shit out of everybody because he's one of the big, or Umaga, people like that, who are kicking ass. Then they get to the huge main event, and then they get stopped.
Yeah.
Fastlane to me was not a big
No, it wasn't. They should have kept rolling it.
Disqualification of something like that.
Make a finish that makes them both look strong.
A knockout, something.
Yeah, something you could build off of.
So, just buried another Rusev.
Then moving on.
Another burial of a great momentum, and this is why WWE is in this fucking situation that you're in.
Yeah, now moving on to the women's match, which there were just so many problems.
Now, at this time, I called you, or I texted you, and I told you I'm watching the clock.
Yeah,
I'm watching the clock.
Yeah, you knew. But, so moving on to the women's match, because, it's...
Charlotte carried it.
It was so screwy going in, because they should not, just in my opinion, they should not have had Bayley win the title on an episode of Raw.
Because they're going to flip.
You know, they really shouldn't have done that unless they're going to do a face-heel turn, because I just didn't... Yeah, Charlotte losing her pay-per-view record at WrestleMania might have been predictable, but it would have been a bigger moment. You could have had her just carry it just to WrestleMania, and then maybe a double turn just to, you know... It felt... And then the interference, which the ref sees, he sees them brawling, but just keeps going, because fuck Charlotte, I guess.
That's what I said. When I tweet Charlotte, I was just like, referee was fucking stupid.
Yeah, the booking for that match made no damn sense.
And Charlotte, you know, carried the match, and then Bayley had some botches here and there, some moves. I was like, well, I didn't understand what the fuck she was doing, so whatever. Charlotte's still the best that they've got in the women's division.
Yeah, and so then moving
watching
on
the clock, watching
to
the clock.
Goldberg, Kevin Owens, and you probably thought this was gonna happen this way, because
nobody was surprised. Everybody all over Twitter was saying
this is what
bullshit.
Goldberg does.
10 minutes
in this incarnation.
We had a
7-minute video package.
Yes, 10 minutes to get to the fucking ring.
Walk to the ring.
And Kevin Owens dancing around outside for
and Jericho's music hits, and because wrestlers are the most easily distracted people on the planet, that takes Kevin Owens' mind out of the game. He's in the damn ring with Goldberg, but he just forgets about that, and spear, jackhammer, pin.
20-second match.
If you want to protect Goldberg because he's 50 years old, and I don't know what lagging injuries he has or what he's capable of doing. If you want to protect him, there was a better way to do it. Why Jericho just didn't jump Kevin Owens on the ramp, beat the holy shit out of him, and then just basically hand deliver him to Goldberg. That would have been better, and, you know, at least it would have given you the squash you wanted, and it would have given more heat. But to be honest, why hold this match in the first place? Because if Goldberg-Lesnar is the main event of WrestleMania, that's a shit main event, especially with the revelations on SmackDown of Randy Orton turning on Bray Wyatt. AJ Styles wins the top contender match, so this looks like a triple threat. Goldberg and Lesnar are not going to be able to follow that. Hell, they're not going to be able to follow the opening match on the card.
I predicted it's going to be a squash match, because everybody's expecting Brock Lesnar to do something. Goldberg hasn't proven shit. He can't wrestle more than 5 fucking... How long was he even in the Royal Rumble?
I think Goldberg has wrestled for a total of 5 minutes since he's been back. If you really add it up, including the damn Rumble, I think it's only about 5 or 10 fucking minutes.
Because it just pisses me off for making that kind of cash, and you don't got to do shit.
Yeah, so
So if the match goes any longer than I'm predicting WrestleMania, this big match will not go longer than 5 fucking minutes.
Well, I certainly hope not, because they couldn't deliver.
Because he can't do shit.
Yeah, they couldn't deliver back when they were, when he was in his prime.
It's a joke, and it sucks at Kevin Owens.
And Lesnar can do amazing things in the ring if you give him an opponent that can work with him, and Goldberg's not that opponent. He can't. So it'll be disappointing. And yeah, it was disappointing that Kevin Owens, who's been champion since after SummerSlam, just gets honky-tonk manned and just kind of brushed aside for this gimmick match, because that's what it is. It's a fucking gimmick match.
And honestly, does anyone give a shit about this match, really?
No.
Because if Brock Lesnar wins, like I said, who cares? Oh, wow, he'll walk away with the title.
Yay, hooray, yeah. We all saw it coming. The only shock would be for Goldberg to win.
I just don't...
And then where the hell do you go with it from there?
Well, I don't see Goldberg... In his contract, obviously, it was to win a
championship, or
win a belt,
a big belt,
main event,
big match,
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't to get the belt. That was just to add the extra. Ooh, now what's going to happen?
Or to justify it being the main event. But I
boring.
hope it doesn't go on last.
It was embarrassing. I mean, I predicted it was going to be a fucking squash with Kevin Owens. Said maybe show me something. Show me you can wrestle. But as I was looking at the clock, I knew nope, it's going to be another quick fucking match.
He was in the ring with a guy that could have helped him to a good match. Kevin can.
I just want to know what the fuck did Sting do wrong. That's what I want to know.
He didn't have an ego. Because the funny thing is, that's what Goldberg's run reminds me of. It reminds me of when Hogan returned at WrestleMania 18, and won a title, was around for a little bit. Reminds me when The Rock came back, 429, won the title, had a few matches, looked real good. The problem difference is, yes, regardless of what you say about Hogan and his ability and the things that he's been involved in lately, the fucker could at least compete in a match. And The Rock was great, but Goldberg isn't on that level to have that run.
So at least we know, if they're stupid enough to book Goldberg and Brock Lesnar as the last match, you can shut WrestleMania off before this match because it won't be worth
no
shit.
matter what happens. And
Spear, jackhammer. Oh, wow.
And speaking of WrestleMania, guys, and I get back to Roman Reigns, I don't understand if Roman faces The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I don't understand that booking, how he's been booked so far.
They've got under a month.
What I would have done with Roman is it's fine if you want to do him and The Undertaker. That's fine. But you're not going to get anything positive out of it the way you're going. No one is going to cheer Roman Reigns for taking down The Undertaker. It is not going to endear him to the fans.
But I'm still not even convinced Roman Reigns is fighting him.
I'm not
the only
convinced
person
either,
to bring
but I
up
hope
The Undertaker has been John Cena.
But he looks like he might be in this mixed tag thing with The Miz, but they might blow that off on SmackDown.
John Cena's awesome
They
enough.
might surprise us.
He can do 2 matches in one night.
Maybe.
Bret Hart did it.
That's true. But
Bret Hart did it.
If they're gonna do, which that's the prevailing rumor, if they're gonna do it, it should have been booked differently. It's fine to have Roman eliminate The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. That was a good start. And the next night on Raw, you have Roman give a heel promo. He doesn't turn heel. He just gives a heel promo. He says, hey, a lot of you folks I saw on Twitter or social media, a lot of you people aren't happy that I showed up at the Royal Rumble at number 30. Well, I'm not here to make you people happy. I'm here to win titles. I'm here to compete. You know, and I got rid of the biggest dog in the yard because it's my yard now. And that can be his only mention for a little bit. Then over the weeks, he gets a little cockier, you know, and then, but that would have helped you with Braun Strowman. During that match, Roman hits him with the spear. Strowman kicks out. Hits him with the Superman punch. Strowman kicks out. Gets a chair after a ref bump. You know, whacks Strowman a couple times. Gets a dirty pin over Strowman. Now people are really looking at Roman Reigns like, what the hell? And then at WrestleMania, you feed The Undertaker to Roman Reigns, and you have a new top heel. You're welcome.
So here's
people
the other thing is, though, in the process of doing Fastlanes, they kill Strowman's fucking momentum.
Yeah, what are they gonna do with him? That's the real question. You have this guy that hasn't lost a singles match. You know, he's been on this great run, and yeah, it does.
I didn't understand that.
What are you gonna do with him at WrestleMania? You kind of got rid of someone that could have done something really cool.
Yeah.
So Fastlane was
predictable.
Yeah. Basically, the only thing that wasn't predictable was Charlotte not winning, because I really thought she was going to.
I actually thought they were going to throw us a curve.
But how screwy that finish was?
Interfere in that
Goldberg,
in the main event match.
Yeah, they
with Mick Foley doing the little thing.
I know.
I was like, okay, so maybe they're going to spice this up. And Jericho's going to jump in. Samoa Joe's going to jump in. And because I've been wanting to see Brock. I wanted to see Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe. At WrestleMania. Sorry.
Which, the way they're booking Samoa Joe, I mean, that could be a possible match on the horizon.
And no, don't give a fuck about Seth Rollins. Don't care if you show up at Mania. Don't really care.
Well, he'd be fighting Triple H anyway.
So hopefully they're going to throw some surprises, because obviously we recorded this before Monday Night Raw, so why don't you surprise me, throw some curveballs, because I'm getting tired of bitching about WWE. This is boring.
Well, it's just some of the storylines don't make a lot of sense. Some things are doing really good, and some things aren't. You know, I like the fact that I don't care what John Cena does at WrestleMania. I like that he was involved with The Miz. I mean, he should be wrestling The Undertaker in the main event. You know, I mean, Ric Flair got to face Shawn Michaels, who had nothing to gain by beating Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels got to face The Undertaker, which had nothing to gain by retiring Shawn Michaels. So why can't you give The Undertaker John Cena and let him hang it up and publish a book and, you know, do whatnot? Unless they just plan on keeping him around forever, I wouldn't be surprised. WrestleMania 40, Undertaker's coming down to the ring and hooked to a fucking dialysis machine.
So we'll see if Brock Lesnar or if Goldberg was able to put more asses in the seats tonight at Monday Night Raw, or people are going to be watching, because nobody's really giving a shit the last couple of Monday Night Raws. So
yeah,
that's why I don't understand why they're doing this.
Me neither. He had a really good start, and they treated him good, but I think the Royal Rumble was handled badly. It made Brock look like no threat. To him whatsoever, and so that way if Brock wins at WrestleMania, your smart mark is going to go, oh, well, I knew that was going to happen, and if Goldberg wins, it's still going to be this, why do you have him keep winning?
I'm still predicting Goldberg's going to bury him again. Suckers.
I think it'd be funny.
He's going to bury him again. It's my prediction.
But no, the reason I was happy John Cena and The Miz, because at least that keeps John Cena away from a title match.
And then fucking Hulk Hogan's going to come back and take the belt. No, Kevin Nash will come back and take the belt.
Kevin Nash will tear his quad crossing the ring.
Goldberg, everything Kevin Nash said about you was true.
Oh, shit.
For life. That's all I got. Fastlane, boring.
Yeah. Hopefully Raw will be better.
Let's go watch Raw.